Shalom. First and foremost, as always, want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to elect. It's going to be just another news and prophecy video. Just was looking through some articles and the Spirit hit me. Just align with some precepts. Whatever else the Spirit may feed me. But these are 3 articles I've seen off of, what's this website called again? End Time Headlines. I always think it's called End Time News, but End Time Headlines, right? So let's get into the first one. It says, which I'll also play this video as well. Hopefully the video will be taken down for some of the things they may say, but I don't know. But I'll also play a video so you can hear things as well. So the first article from End Time Headlines, it says, could artificial intelligence, AI, lead to an increase of persecution against Christians across the globe? Which that is true. Yes, they can definitely and will use AI technology to come against us. Now, the true Christians are those who followed Yahweh Shai, right? Because as you can see, well, when Lord's will, I get to play this video, what appears to be a so-called white man, what appears to be an Edomite man, they're thinking that, the government or, the world is going to come against them because they believe that they're Christians, but they don't follow the doctrine of Yahushua. They follow the belief system of Jesus Christ and all that, which his name is not Jesus Christ. The true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and the true name of his Son is Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew. The name Jesus goes back to Greek, which he was not a Greek. Hebrews 7:14 tells you, for it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah. So he was from the tribe of Judah. Now, tribe of Judah goes back to of the 12 tribes of Israel. So he was an Israelite. He was not a Greek. But, without rambling, yes, they definitely can and will use AI to come against the true Christians, which we know the true Christians are Israelites, those who followed the Messiah, Yahweh Shai. Brothers have already done videos. You could look it up if anything. They already have the robot dogs. I think they're either going to come sometime. They want to bring them out sometime this year in New York, if I'm not mistaken. I think the mayor, Eric Adams, wanted to use them for something, if I'm not mistaken. I apologize for not being too clear on that. But I believe he wanted to use them sometime, maybe like July or something like that of this year, for whatever reason, right? So they have their robot dogs. Even though we haven't seen it, we know that they have their, robots that look humanoid. I think brothers have also posted videos that was a while ago of like they were doing some like tests with some robot. They were like hitting it and it wasn't staggering or anything. It wasn't falling. It was doing like backflips and jumps. It disarmed a man with a weapon. So we already know that they have weapons or, technology like that to come against us, right? To come after us. So it says, as calls to take cautionary approach to artificial intelligence, AI, to continue to what is that word? Percolate. Hopefully I'm saying that word right. A persecution watchdog is sounding the alarm on how the emergency technology could harm oppressed Christians. And these men are not oppressed. We're the oppressed ones. Because we get our videos taken down. We get our channels taken down. We're the ones that's going through the curses. We're the ones that have to worry about our people coming against us. Right? These guys are not oppressed. These guys, I'm sorry. If you look at this guy here, does this guy look on his right? Does this guy look like he's oppressed? Does this guy look like he's stressed or is worrying about anything? You're not worrying about anything at all. It's us that have to worry about it. As per the curses, thy life shall hang in the balance. We don't know. Our people don't live thinking that we're going to see another day. All right. Well, let's continue. They feel oppressed. It says, according to CBN, David Curry, president and CEO of Global Christian Relief, an organization devoted to uncovering Christian persecution and advocating for believers across the globe, spoke with CBN's Faith Wire about the concerning way repressive regimes, terrorists, and others might utilize the technology. Again, for you Christians that are in the church, right? You Methodist, Baptist, Pentecostal, Again, what persecution are you guys going through that is just so great? What videos do you guys put up that YouTube takes them down? Or what videos do you guys put up that channels get taken down? We come in the name of what? Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right, not too long ago, about maybe let's say about 2 years ago, they said that there was like a poster that said Yahweh Shai is coming, and that was anti-Semitic. I'm just gonna say the word. Hopefully, Lord's willing, the Lord covers this video that doesn't get taken out. I'm gonna just say the word. They said that was anti-Semitic, right? We can't say certain words, otherwise, like our videos is gonna get taken down. You say the real word of Revelation 13 to 16, your channel will get taken down. Things like that. You gotta be cautious with your words. You can't say the thing that everybody they made, or really like pushed everybody to get, the rolling up of the sleeves. You gotta use certain words or use certain phrases and things like that. So again, you guys believe in Jesus Christ. Nobody's oppressing you because you believe in Jesus Christ. Nobody's coming after you because you believe in Jesus Christ. So what oppression are you Christians going through? What oppression? You guys, some of you folded and took the rolling up of the sleeves. Some of you took the V. So again, what oppression did you guys have to go through? So now maybe some of y'all didn't take it, but for reals, most of y'all took it. I have a testimony. When I was looking for a job, a guy told me, I don't see, he was like, Mr. Such and Such, I'm not telling you my name, but he said, Mr. Such and Such, I don't see what's the issue with you getting the thing, because he told me that, the Christian church pretty much said it's okay to get that, because I told him it was because of my faith, my body is my temple, so I'm not okay with getting that. He's like, I don't see what's the issue, because he said the Christian church said it's okay. Now he said when it comes to the JEWS, when it comes to them, it's not okay. They have their thing where it's not fine. But he said for you, seeing as how he thought I was, one of those believers in Jesus Christ, he said it's fine. The Christian church said it's fine for you to take it. So again, what oppression are you going through? What problems or anything that are you going through? I apologize for ranting, but it's a question I would really like to know. What oppression are you Christians going through? It says the example that pops out is a clear and present danger in China and their use of artificial intelligence to monitor the movement of their population. Curry said they have a social scoring system which tracks church attendance and can prohibit children under the age of 18 from going to church, or if it can't prohibit it, it will certainly punish you in social score. Now I'm going to play this video. Lord's willing, you can hear it as well. I'm going to play it, and I'll have some comments as well. So give me a second. Let me just do something real quick.
So AI, artificial intelligence, this is something that is gaining a lot of ground. People are using it. It's sort of exploded as a topic in this country and around the world. But one area that you look at, obviously persecution, it's an area that hasn't been given much attention. What most concerns you when it comes to AI and the persecuted church?
Well, the example that pops out that is a clear and present danger is China and their use of artificial intelligence to monitor the movement of their population. In particular, then, they have a social scoring system which tracks church attendance and can prohibit children under the age of 18 from going to church, or if it can't prohibit it, it will certainly punish you on your social score. So that's happening right now.
And that is one thing that I want to comment off of that I was meditating on when I listened to him say that, is with the CBDCs. Let's say the MOTB doesn't have to come out just yet. Lord's willing, it comes out sooner rather than later. But let's say they come out with the CBDCs, right? And let's say that's a prelude for what they want to do. And we see how they want to really push things with that, right? Just like they did with the V, right? The V was what? A prelude of, the MOTB. So let's say they push out CBDCs, right? And they, pretty much make it like mandatory for everybody to get, partake in the CBDCs and things like that, right? And we already know that the CBDCs is going to give them control pretty much over you and your money, over the monetary system, right? Because it's going to be digital. So now let's say, okay, that's my thing. let's say, you get the CBDC, right? You obviously, it's not the MOTB, so you don't have to worry about it. But yet, you have to be a part of the system along with the CBDC, right? So let's say, you're still going out there preaching, you're still going out there, prophesying against this kingdom. And they could use this to oppress you by what? By saying, oh, okay, well, we see you're still going out there prophesying, things like that. Well, you know what? We're going to start, sir, seeing as how you're doing that and you're speaking out against the government, things like that. We're going to start deducting money out out of your whatever, your digital wallet or whatever it may be, out of your CBDC thing, whatever, right? Or if not, you know what? We won't go to you. You know what? We'll go to your job and we'll attack your job and say, hey, your employer here is living a certain lifestyle. He does something on the weekends that we don't agree with. Now, we talked to him about it and he didn't stop. But you see, seeing as how we're going to put the squeeze on you. So what we're going to do is, because he's not listening, we're going to affect this business or this job, right, that you're working at. They're going to put the squeeze on your job and make it to where, oh, okay, if you don't do something about him, we're just going to keep attacking you and things like that. And then eventually your job's going to say, what? We don't want nothing to deal with you. We want no problems with you. You got to get the hell out of here. Again, going back to my question, how are you Christians oppressed again? Because it's like, they're not going to come after you because of you believing in Jesus Christ. They're going to come after the true believers of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. But that was one thought that came across my mind, how they can use, again, technology to oppress us. They don't have to come out with the MOTB just yet, but they could just come out with the CBDCs and use that to use that to what? Force, continue oppression, but also force us to, stop prophesying. That would be like a test. Hey, if you don't stop, doing your thing on the weekends, we're going to deduct money, or we're just going to go affect your job and make your job deal with you and penalize you or whatever, or maybe just let you go. And now your name is going to be put out there now for where it's like, oh, this guy's an issue, and oh, he's an Israelite, he believes in that. Oh, we're not hiring you because the last job you went at, they had issues because the government came after them and things like that. We don't want no problems over here in this business. We're not hiring you. So Lord's willing, I made that clear for what I'm trying to say. They can do those type of things with the CBDC, and that could be one way that they, oppress us with the AI and things like that. It doesn't always have to be bringing out the killer robots and the AI and things like that. That was just one thought that the Spirit gave me that came to mind. So let's continue with the video.
What we're trying to raise the alarm on is the effects that will grow as more and more of these artificial intelligence technologies come online, the way in which the biases of and assumptions that are built into this predictive modeling could affect religious faith. In particular, obviously, we're focused right now on the persecution of Christians, the monitoring of Christian activity, the censorship of worship services, pastors posting of videos, all the various implications of artificial intelligence.
One of the things that I know you've raised, and I had not thought of this, but when you look around the world at persecution and how easy it is to accuse a Christian of doing something they didn't do, and other groups as well, but Christians in particular, to say, oh, that person said this or they did this, and in certain countries that could mean your livelihood or your life, right? And you have this deep fake issue, right? Where videos could be created to make things look like they happened when they didn't. Talk a little bit about that, because that seems particularly terrifying when it comes to this persecution issue.
Yes, and that is something that the elders and apostles have talked about, that they're going to have your face up there, right? But they don't really need to have you up there. They could just have, with the, like he's saying, the deep fake thing of just have, because they have our faces on video already with the YouTube. So all they need to do is just take the deep fake technology, have somebody else, and put your face up there, right? Don't they have the black faces and things like that? People that will dress up in a black suit and it'll look like a so-called black man and could do some crime out there. They could just put him in a black suit, but just, not put the face on, and then use the deep fake technology, right? To then make it look like it's you going out there doing some madness and call you a terrorist. Make you look like you just shot up 10 people. And you didn't. To put it out there that, oh, these black Hebrew Israelites, as they label us, when we tell you that we're not black, we're Hebrew Israelites, right? But they could sit there and put that, oh, see, these black Hebrew Israelites, they're terrorists, they're a problem, and use that to come against us. But let me get a precept, Salakia, for being long-winded. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us. And who is Satan? Who is the adversary? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the top banking families, right? Those that have power and sway in the earth to change things according to the way they like it, right? Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And some of his devices is AI technology. Let me just go into that word, devices. Right? And it says an evil purpose, that which thinks, the mind, thoughts, and purposes, right? So the devices, their evil purposes, what they plan to do. What was he going into?
Well, I mean, this, fundamentally, the human spirit is meant to see a threat when we perceive that we're somehow involved or have done something for which, maybe we could get in trouble for. And so the common discussion is, well, I haven't done anything wrong. Why should I be concerned? Well, deep fakes, artificial intelligence can create a situation where it looks as though you are doing something, is a threat to that, because it in many cases around the world, blasphemy accusations or mob violence by extremists against Christians is not based on an actual event that happened, but on a word of mouth. Somebody said that they slandered Muhammad. A mob comes, attacks, kills, burns the church down, and it's done before the facts can catch up. So deep fakes, right now people are playing with them. You've seen versions of them on the internet as people are like, wow. I mean, for example, I saw one today. People are making it seem as though they're hiking along with a bear, and it's kind of a cute little idea. It's a deep fake, and a bear seems to be part of their hiking group having fun. Well, I mean, there are some really pernicious and difficult angles on this as we look forward to what could be done with deep fakes to frame people who are, maybe doing something that wouldn't be a normal part of religious expression in some parts of the world, or is forbidden by their government, and they want to go to church, and they want to worship, they want to pray. This will happen. You add on to it the policies.
Right? And just going back again to 2 Corinthians, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, right? We understand the reason why they bring out these deep fakes. It's not for people's entertainment, although they may release it to people so people could use it as entertainment, right? But really it's to come against us. That's why the Spirit had me go into this article talking about, can AI be used to come against, Christians, which we, those of us that believe in Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shai, we are the ones that are the true Christians. We are the true followers of Yahweh Shai, right? So again, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, which is his thoughts, his plans, bringing out things like deepfake to then use it to use our faces out there. They don't need us specifically. They could just have our faces out there with the deepfake technology, and it could just have our voices again. Because our faces is here on the YouTube, right? Because when we go out on the highways and byways, our faces out there, as well as our voices, right, is being projected when we do videos. So all they need to do is with the deepfake, just copy however it works, copy the image of your face, put it on somebody else, and copy your voice, and have you say a whole bunch of crazy wild stuff, right? And then now, like the scriptures say, like Yahweh Shai said, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. See? Because now your face is out there saying things, but yet you didn't say these things, or yet you weren't the one doing something or at this certain place, but this is how they can say that. And they could just have some truck or van follow you, right? Let's say you go somewhere, right? You go out somewhere, it's just a normal day for you or whatever, right? And you go out somewhere, and there's like Esau could have a truck or a van or a spy or whatever watch you go somewhere, and they could just talk back to the headquarters like, hey, he's outside, he's going somewhere, right? Do the thing right now with your face, and have it look like you went and shot up a mall or something, or have it look like you went and got into a fight with somebody, have your face out there. And then at the same time, well, hey, you did leave the house at such and such time, and you did leave for a long period of time, and you were near that area, and look, your face is right there as well, and saying Yahweh Shai and all that, some craziness. How are you saying that's not you? Because people is gonna sit there and say that's your face, that's your voice. How are you saying that's not you? And could use that to come down on you. Revelation 12:12. As a matter of fact, let me get that real quick. Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil, right, Esau Edom, the deceiver, is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And that's his technology, is how he can come down with the great wrath. This is why we're going to need Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to defend us, because you can't beat, carnally, you cannot beat something like that technology that can literally look and sound like you and sit there and say, I wasn't here at such and such place, right? Like I gave you that scenario. Let's say you left and went somewhere and you were in the area, but you didn't do that. You can't beat that deep fake technology that looks like you and sounds like you, but it's not you. And then people are going to sit there and say, yo, that's you. Look, it's your face. But yo, it's not me. And what are you going to tell them? That's that deep fake technology that Esau. People, you already know how people are. These people, let's be honest, have small minds, peanut brains. They're not going to believe you when you sit there and say that. They're going to sit there and say, oh, you into that sea stuff, that sees things and all that? They're not going to believe you. They're going to sit there and believe that, yeah, that's you. You could do something like that on the street. And that's how, like I said, and ye shall be hated of all men for my namesake, for Yahweh Shai's namesake. This is why we need Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because, and then they could use that to come down upon us with great wrath, right? But this is why getting this precept. Matter of fact, no, there's another one that the Spirit just gave me. What is that one? Is that Psalm 124? Spirit just gave me another one. I was going to get Isaiah 59:19. Right. This is Psalm 124. This is Psalm 124:1. I'll start from the top. It says, a song of degrees of David. If it had not been Yahweh Bashem Yahushua who was on our side, now may Israel say, if it had not been the Lord who was on our side when men rose up against us, right? And Esau, using this deep fake technology, is how he can use this to rise up against us, to have a reason to come against us, right? Even though it's all deceit, he can still use it as a way to lock us up, right? Or to really kill us, as we know that they want to do. Again, verse 2, if it had not been the Lord who was on our side when men rose up against us, then they had swallowed us up quick when their wrath was kindled against us. Then the waters had overwhelmed us. The stream had gone over our soul. And it's liking the people, right? David is likening the people unto waters, right? So it says, then the waters had overwhelmed us. The stream had gone over our soul. Then the proud waters, right? And we know Esau is a proud man. Then the proud waters had gone over our soul. Blessed be the Lord who had not given us as a prey to their teeth, right? Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers, right? The snare is broken and we are escaped, right? Which the snare is the trap, right? And the fowler, if I'm not mistaken, is one who catches bird, a man who sets a trap to catch a bird. So it says, our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken and we are escaped, because Esau Edom is laying traps with this technology to trap us, to be able to lock us up and things like that. But if it, like David's saying, if it had not been for the Lord, we would have never escaped from these problems, right? Or using it in David's time, if it had not been for the Lord, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua being on David's side, David would not have escaped the traps of the enemies. And that's what we're relying upon now. That's what we're looking for now, for the Lord to help us out of this, right? So I'll read verse 7 again. It says, verse 6. It says, blessed be the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, who had not given us as a prey to their teeth. Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken and we are escaped. Our help is in the name of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, who made heaven and earth. Right, that is who our help is in. Because we cannot look carnally to expect our might or somebody else. People are going to turn their backs on us. People are going to turn away from us, saying, that's the craziness that you're doing. Even though it was not you, but still, people are going to turn their backs upon us and hate us. Family members, friends, loved ones, your own parents that birthed you, that however old you may be, know you like the back of their hands, but yet are going to look at certain things that Esau Edom is going to do and say, I want nothing to do with you, right? So our help, our expectation, our help is in the name of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Ashah, who made heaven and earth. So this is how the elect, Lord's willing, are part of that number, is going to be able to deal with artificial technology to be used to persecute us. Our help, right? Our hope is in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Ashai, that however things go down, whether they use the deep fake, all right, or they use the robot dogs or the bionicle robots or whatever, that we call upon that name, and hey, may an angel come down, may you get spiritual powers, right? Or however the Lord may give you some ability to escape. However that may be, make an accident happen to where you could just, scurry off and run and hide into some corner real quick. That is our hope, and that is our expectation. That's what we're looking for, because we cannot look to ourselves nor to any carnal thing to save us. Also at second Ezra's. I want to get second Ezra. Where you at? Okay, there you go. Okay, let's start from verse 67. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 67. It says, Behold, the Most High himself is the judge. Fear him, leave off from your sins, and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall the Most High lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble, from the trouble of the deepfake, from the trouble of the robot dogs, from trouble of super soldiers, bionic robots, whatever, androids, whatever you want to call them, cyborgs, terminators, whatever you want to call it. The Most High will what? Deliver you from all trouble. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. That's going into trying to make you take the MOTB, Revelation 13 and 16, right? And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. So those that consent unto taking that thing, gonna still get destroyed, right? Still get killed, because the Lord controls all spirits. He can just have that to test to see if you're gonna take it, and if you break, the Lord could still have them kill you in a brutal way, or just leave you for the missiles. That's why we have to pray to stay 10 toes down for the Lord, because there is no other escape option but by Yahweh Ba'Shem Ashah. That's the only way we're going to be able to endure and deal with these times. Verse 7, he says, For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. And technology, AI, is going to be a big tool that Esau Edom uses to do that, right? They shall be like madmen, sparing none. Now, again, that madmen doesn't just have to be actual men, but it could be cyborgs, androids, right? Because when you look at the Terminator, doesn't the Terminator look like a man? So Ezra could have been seeing men, but really in actuality, it could have been cyborgs, androids, whichever one you want to call them, Terminators even, that he was seeing that look like men because they have the skin flesh on them that looks human, but really underneath they're not. They're robots. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire, right? How are they going to be known that how are they going to be known that they are the Lord's chosen? Because the Lord is going to be delivering them from certain things, and that's going to build up the elect's faith. Again, Lord's when we are part of that number, that's going to build up their faith to believe that I might be of the chosen, I might be of the elect, and keep going, keep believing, and you endure to the end and get beamed up. Yeah, you definitely are of the elect. It says verse 74 says, Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand. Right? So let me read it again. It says, Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand. What days of trouble? This type of trouble with this AI, the persecution, the the deep fake thing, right? I don't know if ChatGPT has anything to do with that as well, but I know that deals with, I think, like talking to the dead, if I'm not mistaken. But the deep fake, the super soldiers, the cyborgs, the robots, all that are part of the days of trouble at hand. But what does it say? And the persecution, right? Because focusing mostly on the persecution, because that's what the article is about. It says, "Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand," which the persecution is one of those. "But I will deliver you from the same." How? Well, go back and read some of the stories, right, of how the Lord delivered men when they were in trouble. Elijah is one, the 3 holy children, Daniel in the lion's den twice, Peter with when he was thrown in prison. There are many stories, right? Hebrews, the 11th chapter, goes through some of those. David with Saul, David with some of the other nations, when you read some of the Psalms, right? Now, he doesn't have to deliver you in the same way he delivered those men. There are many different ways the Lord can deliver you, but those are examples. It says, "But I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide." So, although, yes, this sounds scary, but we have to understand that we have a power, we have a God in heaven that is stronger than these things, and he's going to show that. He's going to show for his elect how much more powerful he is than the carnal. Remember, it's just like Elder Apostle Gabar always says, what you don't see is stronger than what you do see. People are going to freak out because of what they see, because they're going to be like, "Oh my God, this is crazy. This is nuts." But yet us that understand the spiritual things and we understand the scriptures, we're not going to freak out when we see these things. Let me get a precept for that real quick, and then we'll move to the next article. This is 2 Timothy, right? The second book of Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7. It says, "For the Most High had not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." So we're going to have a sound mind in those times when we see these things. Why? Because we have been spiritually preparing, right? Mentally preparing for the times ahead. Those that didn't want to take heed to the warning when these things happen, they have not spiritually prepared, not mentally prepared, not prepared in any way, shape, or form for these things to happen. They just thought that things was just going to be normal. So when these things come upon the world, they're just going to think, when these things come upon the world, they're going to be shocked and taken by it. They're going to be surprised, like, what's going on here? They're not going to have that spirit. They're going to have the spirit of fear. They're going to have the spirit of panic and things like that. But us that know the prophecies, we're not going to have the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. The Spirit is going to be able to guide us in those times to know where to go, know what to do and things like that. Or if you get spiritual power, you already know what to do with that power. Unless you get the spiritual power of healing, then, obviously you're going to be used to heal brothers. But oops, not that. So yeah, that will be it on this article for artificial intelligence. I'm gonna move to the next one. And that's a hell of a picture right there. But God, these ads are irritating. It says China, the next article from End Time Headlines, it says China, Russia, and North Korea and Iran are all investigating in ways to nuke America. It says, at the height of the Cold War, President Ronald Reagan had the foresight to call upon the nation to support the Strategic Defense Initiative, later known as Star Wars Defense System, to protect the United States from a potential USSR missile attack. It says, according to Fox News, due to fierce democratic opposition, our nation never fully built our missile defense capability and doubled down on nuclear deterrence. So let's read that again. It says, according to Fox News, due to fierce Democrat opposition, our nation, which is America, which is not our nation, but our nation never fully built our missile defense system. So you mean to tell me, after all these years, when you created the first Star Wars defense system, you never updated your system? You update phones, these iPhones, almost every year or every 6 months, but you never updated your defense system. This is why these missiles are going to hit this place. And then people think that we're crazy for saying that, but your missile defense system has not been updated in years. How is it going to be able to deal with some of these ICBMs, these hypersonic missiles? Russia got something called Satan II. My guy, it's called Satan II. Like, that just sounds just crazy. You have hypersonic missiles. I remember there was one, the brother sent that article called the Vanguard missile. These other nations have been updating their missile systems and things, or updating their missiles. I'm going to get that in Joel. Let the weak say I'm now strong. So let's read that one more time. It says, according to Fox News, due to fierce Democrat opposition, our nation never fully built our missile defense system capability and doubled down on nuclear deterrence. So you never updated, this country, America, never updated their, or, they never upgraded their missile defense system. All they did was trying to stop these other nations from creating nukes. But that didn't work because they still did it because it's prophecy, right? It says, we have relied upon our adversaries' fear that our nuclear weapons could destroy them to deter their use of nuclear weapons against us or our allies. So America relied upon, oh, well, America got the nukes. America's this big, bad country. Look at the things that they've done. Hiroshima, Nagasaki's one, right? So, hey, be careful. Don't mess with America. They relied upon that name, that reputation. Hey, don't mess with America, man. America got the nukes. But now, let's just get the precept. But first, before going into Joel, the 3rd chapter, I'm going to go to Joel 2, right? So they never prepared or never updated their Star Wars defense system that's supposed to deal with that's supposed to be able to deal with the nukes, right? So go to Joel chapter 2 and start at verse 7. It says, and now Joel, the 2nd chapter, is a prophetic. It's likening the nuclear missiles unto mighty men when you read it. When you read it, and if you read it, carnally or just reading it verbatim, you'll sit there and say, oh, this is talking about men invading a city. But Joel is seeing a vision of the missiles, and he's likening it he's likening it unto things in his time. That's a lot of things. That's something that the prophets did, which is when they saw these visions, they don't know what a missile looked like. This is why some of them liken it unto a snake burrowing into a hole, right? And things like that. Or they liken it unto arrows because they had never seen this before. So it's like, what do I call this? Well, I'll just, use certain things that I have in my world here to liken unto, to give it an idea of what I'm seeing, right? So it says Joel the 2nd chapter, verse 7. It says, they shall run like mighty men. So he's likening the missiles to being like mighty men running, right? Now, a mighty man is what? Somebody fierce, somebody strong, somebody coming to destroy a city, right? So let's read this verbatim, right? Or let's just read this with a carnal perspective, right? It says, they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. So let's actually use a carnal example for a second, right? 2 carnal examples, right? Just in case if you know one, but you don't know the other. One, for example, that came to mind was, let's just use like 100, or not 100, like 1,000 Hulks, right? Let's just say there's this fortified defense city with a wall around it, right? And like 1,000 Hulks is just running to this city, and then they just run up the wall, run up the wall, get over the wall, and then they just smash everything in the city and just destroy everything. That is what Joel is seeing. That is not exactly what I just said, but that is what Joel is likening unto. He's likening the missiles unto mighty men running to a wall, which the wall, right? Because in ancient times, cities would have a wall around them, for times of war, to defend the city. And what would be the modern day wall? Which the modern day wall would be what is supposedly supposed to be America's defense system, or its Star Wars program, or its Star Wars defense system that's supposed to be able to negate the nukes. But obviously, we just read that they said that they haven't updated in a while. because they relied upon their, past time, the glory days of when, oh, you don't mess with America. They relied upon the fear, but now these nations no longer fear anymore. So going back, it says, they shall run like mighty men. So he's likening the missiles to be like mighty men running to a city, right? They shall climb on the wall like men of war. Now, again, I explained that the wall is what's used to protect the city for times of war. And the modern day wall would be what? America's defense system. But America's defense system is not up to date to deal with these missiles. So these mighty men, which are the missiles, are going to what? Climb the wall. They're going to get past the defense system because it hasn't been updated. And they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the cities, right? So okay, let me continue. It says, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall, right? Getting past that defense system. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shine. Now think about it. If we're thinking about this carnally, how could mighty men climbing up a wall, cause the earth to shake and things like that? No, it's talking about the missiles. But again, Joel is likening the missiles unto mighty men running to a city to destroy it. And what happens when what happens when mighty men run to a city and destroy it? After they pillage everything, the fire, the smoke goes up, right? Well, it's the same thing with the missiles. Once the missiles hit this place, it's going to be that lake of fire that's spoken about in Revelations, and the smoke shall ascend up, right, into the sky, and you're going to see that mushroom cloud, right? So I'll read that again. It says, they shall run to and fro in the city, right? Meaning that these missiles are going to hit America. They're going to hit every single part of America. If I'm not mistaken, 200 million warheads are going to be shot off, and 200 million 200 million missiles are going to be shot off. But it's the warheads, like it says, if I'm not mistaken, Revelation 9, the heads that do hurt, which is the warheads that are going to be the ones that do the damage. So 200 million warheads are going to hit America, and they're going to run to and from the city, meaning that they're going to hit every single spot in America, every single area, right? Just like mighty men running through a city, they're going to run through every house and destroy everything. These missiles, right, these warheads are going to destroy every single place. New York, Philadelphia, Florida, Washington, D.C., Oregon, South Dakota, whatever these states are, Cali, all this, right? They're going to hit every single state. Just like mighty men pillaging a city is going to hit every single little house or hut or whatever. It says they shall run upon the wall, right? Meaning getting past that defense system, right? They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them, right? Because the scriptures say that the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. Now, what can make the earth reel to and fro? What can make the earth shake like that? Nuclear missiles, right? The power and the force of them hitting America is going to cause the earth to shake. A giant earthquake. It says the earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, right? Because of that mushroom cloud. And the stars shall withdraw their shining, right? So that is what Joel saw in Joel, the second chapter. He's likening again the missiles to being like mighty men going to destroy a city. Now let's go into Joel, the third chapter, because it said, going back to, let me just read this one more time. It says, according to Fox News, due to fierce Democrat opposition, our nation never fully built our missile defense capability. So that's going to lead to the missiles destroying this place, as I just broke down in Joel, the second chapter, right? The mighty men running upon the wall, getting past that defense system and running to and fro in the city. These missiles are going to get past the Star Wars defense, your ancient Star Wars defense system, right? They're going to get past it and destroy America because you haven't updated it. It says, we have relied upon our adversaries' fear that our nuclear weapons could destroy them to deter their use of nuclear weapons against us or our allies. It says the result has been that our cities and populace remain unprotected from a nuclear attack from Russia or China. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, right? Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, which your plowshares is what? Your plowshares and your pruning hooks is farming instruments, right? So at one point, these other nations were building up nations were building themselves up economically, right? But when they see America with all these missiles and things like that, now they're saying what? Scripture says what? Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. So no more dealing with the economics of building your nation up economically. Now you got to prepare, like I said, prepare war. Now you got to build yourself up militarily, preparing for war, right? So now no more economics dealing with building up your nation financially. Now you got to build your nation up military wise, right? What does America have? What's the new thing on the block now, right? Well, it's these missiles. America has all these missiles and things like that. We gotta get up on America's level now. So now we gotta build up our own missile systems and things like that. We gotta build up our own missiles. Russia has Satan too, right? If I'm not mistaken, they have I think it's called the Vanguard missile or something like that. These other nations have their hypersonic missiles and so forth. They have their missiles. So now again, they have now what? Beat their plowshares into swords. Now they have built themselves up with missiles. Now they're able to what? Say that, like it says, let the weak say I am strong. So at one point, these other nations were weak. They didn't have the missiles, right? They didn't have the fighting power that America had. But now with these missiles, they can now say, hey, we're strong as well. We can go up against you. So if you try anything, because at one point you had the missiles, right? And like it said in the article, we feared you. We were afraid. We didn't want nothing to do with you. You relied upon that fear that we had upon you for us to not buck up against you. But now we got strong. We put down the economics of building up our nation economically, financially, and now we've built into what? Into getting missiles just like you, and now even better than you. So I'll read that again. It says, verse 10 says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Let me see what that may say in a different translation. Right, it says, NLT, it says, hammer your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, right? Again, just, reiterating the point, no longer putting money into economics, but putting your money into something else, which is what? Weapons, to be able to combat America. So now if America ever sits there and says, nah, we got missile system as well. You try anything against us, we'll shoot a missile off at you. Don't try us now, right? So these other nations is now saying, again, I am strong. And that's what America relied upon. They relied upon the fear that these nations have, but nah. It says today, right? Continuing on this article, it says today, China, Russia, and North Korea. It says today, China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran continue to invest in technologies, just like I was saying, right? No more putting money into economics, but putting into missiles, right? To be able to combat against America, to be able to stand against America. It says, continue to invest in technologies to expand their capabilities to hit the United States with nuclear weapons. All four countries have escalated their threatening rhetoric, indicating their willingness to use nuclear weapons in a military conflict, right? Again, going from what? Economics to now building up your military, right? And the missiles are part of that. By expanding their nuclear programs, right? Each has made clear that our nuclear arsenal is no longer a deterrent to their potential use of nuclear weapons. If deterrence is dead, then the concept of mutually assured destruction is obsolete, and comprehensive missile defense must be revisited as an essential capability to protect our citizens, which is not. This place is done, man. This place needs to go. I don't know why people want to save America, but I guess, hey, when you don't have the Spirit upon you, you're looking to save this place. But this place, this place just has to go. There's no lasting thing here. You can't have nothing here. It's getting harder and harder to live here. It's getting harder and harder to live in the planet in general. They have their new world order where they want to enslave everybody. So it's like this, they have to be taken out of power. Yahushua has to come back, take them out of power, set up the elect underneath him, and have righteousness throughout the earth. This is not how man is supposed to live. You can't have this going on because, like the scriptures say, unless the Lord has shortened the days, no flesh shall be saved. Because if you keep this man in power any longer, or you just keep it going. There's no flesh going to be saved with you Edomites in power. So no, don't update your systems, which the Lord's not going to let you update your system anyway. And even if you tried to, it still wouldn't do anything. So that will be that on that article. I'm going to go to the last one now. Which I believe this may be old news, but still it's relevant nonetheless. It says NATO warns Russia could target undersea pipelines and cables. It says there is a significant risk. Okay, I'm gonna guess that's supposed to say Russia, not Russian. It says there is a significant risk Russia could target critical infrastructure in Europe or North America, including gas pipelines and internet cables. As part of its confrontation with the West over Ukraine, a senior NATO intelligence officer warned. According to Politico, David Katler, NATO's Assistant Secretary General for Intelligence and Security, told reporters Russia was actively mapping the infrastructure of Ukraine's allies both on land and on the seabed. Moscow's military and civilian intelligence services had considerable resources that Vladimir Putin could deploy for surveillance of infrastructure, including the use of civilian ships and so-called spy ships, Kadler added. The threat posed to undersea gas pipelines that supply Europe was starkly exposed by the sabotage of the Nord Stream pipelines in the Baltic Sea last September. Kadler said that undersea cables that carry 95% of internet traffic were also potentially at risk. We see a significant risk that critical infrastructure in Europe and potentially North America, right, which is where you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans live at, so you should be paying attention to this, could be targeted by Russia as part of its war on Ukraine, Kadler said, right. But you see, people are not expecting this because people are just living their everyday lives as if they're going to just go on. Life is just going to go on. So I'm going to get this precept here. This is Isaiah chapter 47, and I'm going to start verse 8. Now, this is talking about the elites, right? The top banking families. But like I was saying, the mindset of the elites and the people are the same because, matter of fact, what is that precept? Let me see if I can find that. Give me 1 second. What is that? I got to find out before I get this. How's it go? Damn it, I just had it. Give me 1 second. Let me find this precept. It's an inward thought. Houses shall continue forever. Okay, yep. Let me get this precept to explain what I'm about to explain. So this is Psalm chapter 49, verse 11. It says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. So the elites have this mindset, right? That they're going to, things are going to continue the way it is forever, that nothing is going to happen to this place, right? And the people also have that same mindset, or the elites think that they can, get their NW or their New World Order and have their continual reign upon the earth, right? And the people who are just, mindless zombies who don't think at all, think that, America and things in the world are just going to be how they are now. That that's happening now, these little, what they may call hiccups, right, in life, this will just pass. This is just a phase of something, but everything will just go back to being normal. I believe the elder Atazwan of my camp did a video on he had a little segment where he was going into normalcy bias and basically going to how people have like this cognitive dissonance where they don't want to believe the things that are going to happen are going to happen. That's why they think that things will just go back to being normal, if I'm not mistaken. So Psalm 49 and verse 11 says their inward thought, right? So that what they think in their mind is that their houses shall continue forever and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their names. So let's go back to Isaiah 47, right? So this is going to the elites, but the people also have this same mindset as well, right? As I just brought out Psalm 49:11. It says, Isaiah 47:8, it says, therefore hear now this, thou thou that art given to pleasures, right? And ain't the people over here also given to pleasures? Every day is a party, every day is a club, going to the club and things like that, right? So this place is known for giving into pleasures, right? Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, right? And that's how people live here. People live carelessly. People live like children here. That sayest in thine heart. Now remember, this is speaking about the elites, but remember, this can apply to the people as well, because the people have the same mindset. Given to pleasures. They dwell carelessly here, right? People are not worried about war. People are not worried about those type of things. When you talk about these type of things, people look at you like you have 10 different heads. Why? Because they dwell here without care, because they don't think nothing can happen to America. People are riding upon that coattail that America is the best country, but we just read an article where, hey, the missile defense system hasn't been updated in years, baby, so you're wide open for an attack. Says that says in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. And don't certain, you hear that in what you call it, certain sports, certain men will say I'm him and things like that. Women will say I'm that bitch. So again, people have that same mindset, right? I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children, right? People don't think nothing's going to happen to this place. Verse 9, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments, right? And going back to that article, people don't think, if you were to tell someone this, that, hey, NATO warns Russia could target undersea pipelines, and hey, that could take out your internet and things like that, right? And how that will affect your life. People don't think that this type of stuff is going to happen. Why? Because this is the place of pleasure. This is the place where people dwell carelessly. They don't think that this type of stuff could happen, right? But it says, going back to verse 9, I'll read that part again. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in the moment, in one day. So it's going to come suddenly. Matter of fact, let me see what the NLT may say. Right, it says NLT, well, both these things will come upon you in a moment. Widowhood and the loss of your children, yes, these calamities will come upon you despite all your witchcraft and magic. And that's going into the least, although they're doing all this witchcraft and magic, right? That the Lord is still going to bring these bad times upon them. But also, again, going into the people have that similar mindset, like nothing's going to happen. So what these evils, these bad times are going to come upon these people, and they're not going to know from whence it come, as we're going to continue. Going to verse 10, it says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me, right? Right? Again, this is going to the elites, but the people have this same mindset, right? So people have trusted in the American way. People have trusted in this lifestyle, thinking that this is the way to go, right? Right? For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, right? People continue in this wicked lifestyle, no matter how much we tell people to repent and turn from it, because this is not something that is pleasing in the eyes of the Lord. It says, thou hast said, none seeth me, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it had perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Verse 11, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Again, just making sure you understand the point that what? This is speaking about the elites, but again, I'm using this to show you that what? The people have this similar mindset. People do not expect an attack upon America. People do not expect, nuclear missiles and things like that, as we went through with certain articles, right? People don't even expect, just using that article, the first article with the AI, some of you that believe in Jesus Christ, some of you don't even think that AI is going to be used to come against you and things like that, right? But what? It says, I'll read verse 10 and 11 again. Verse 10, it says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. You people have trusted in the American way. You people have trusted that everything's going to be all right, but it's not. For thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it had perverted thee, right? You think that whatever wisdom and knowledge, whatever philosophy you follow of this world, that it's going to be all right. Thy wisdom and knowledge, it had perverted thee, right? So whatever different philosophy that people have followed in the world, it has polluted your mind, it has led you in a way of error, and it has not led you to the truth. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil, right, which evil meaning a bad time, which this, if Russia does this, which we'll see, as the scriptures say, watch as well as pray. If Russia attacks and takes out the pipelines over here, right? Let me see where it said that. Hold on, let me read that again. So give me a second. Let's start from the beginning. It says there's a significant risk, right? Russia could target critical infrastructure in Europe or North America, including gas pipelines and internet cables. And that will have a significant effect on your life, not being access to the internet. Especially for you women. You women love Instagram, being able to see. You women definitely will go crazy. But imagine not having the internet. Think about it, what happened with the blackout that happened years ago, if I'm not mistaken, like 2002, 2004, if I'm not mistaken. It's been so long. Sorry, Salakia. People were going crazy when they couldn't have access to internet and things like that. And I remember on my block, there was a shootout or whatever. So people are going to do crazy things when you don't have access to certain things. No gas, no internet. This is that place that's given to pleasures because you always think you're going to have this. You always think you're going to have that. But what happens when the Lord cuts it off by using one of these other nations, specifically Russia, to do something like that? Remember, we're just one event away from all hell breaking loose. And when I say that, I mean, like, all the Lord has to do is make one crazy ass event happen, and that's just a domino effect leading into other things. You know, obviously the MOTB has to come out, you know, before the destruction, but crazy things could happen before that. The Lord just needs to create one event that'll just lead to just a domino effect of other things, and that will change your life drastically. Remember 9/11? That changed everything. People were shook after that. That's all you need to do to just spice things up in this place. So going back to verse 11, it says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Right, so these bad times is coming upon America. I'll continue a little bit in this article. It says, I'm not at the beginning. Okay. It says, we see a significant risk that critical infrastructure in Europe and potentially North America could be targeted by Russia as a part of its war on Ukraine. The Russians are more active than we've seen them in years in this domain, Cadler said. Their patrols in the Atlantic and throughout the Atlantic are most of the time at a higher level than we've seen in recent years. Russian vessels were also taking more risk in the Baltic Sea and North Seas, he added. In the wake of the Nord Stream blasts, which are the subject of investigations in 3 different countries, NATO established a new cell at its Brussels headquarters to coordinate efforts to protect undersea infrastructure. I wonder what's America doing? Probably nothing, as they did the same thing with the defense systems. It says, none of the investigations have yet concluded who was responsible for the attack, but initial suspicion in Western governments fell on Russia. Danish authorities last week confirmed a sighting of a submarine carrying Russian Navy vessel near the pipeline 4 days before the blast in September. All right, so that's about it on that. But yeah, that will be it for this news and prophecy video. Just, yeah, things are happening. So as the scriptures say, you know, watch as well as pray. Pray that we've been able to escape all these evils. Because let's say they do that with this, just going to the first article, like I mentioned with the brought out, with this artificial intelligence, you know, we have to watch as well as pray. Watch these, watch news so we could be up to date on what's going on in the world. And also pray that we can escape this AI technology that they're going to use, because we definitely know that they're going to bring that out. You know, pray that we escape, you know, as you can see that picture right there, you know, pray that we escape the nuclear destruction that the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Ashah, is going to bring upon this. And, you know, people definitely not, and watch to see if anything can become of this. So, again, pray that this video is edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory, as always, to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.